Namaste! Grand Rising, Big Cat. Welcome back to Frequency Phoenix 555. For your message or messages, come in, come on. I've got intel. Recon is afoot. Yes, bestie. Once you see a thing, forget it not. When the math is not mathing. Because you see, when you forget what you saw, darling dears, or try and not associate it with the person you think they are, that's when you come a cropper and end up on the rocks of life, darling dears, barking at passing cars, searching for a strong hairline. Listen, they will blow back your hairline, give you a reverse friar tuck, and they won't be sorry. Nope. And they will lie straight up to your boat race. That's Cockney rhyming slang for face, darling dears. And they won't be sorry, and their pants won't catch on fire. All right, now that we've got that under our belts and off our chests, let's press on. Thank you, Kimberly Loves, for the super chat. You know I'll be spending it on either fizzy water or honeydew melon or a sealed bag of cashew and almond nuts. Got to get the health in, darling dears. Your health is your wealth. Eat right, darling dears. Eat food that feeds your whole soul. Oh, one fell right out, darling dears. And what fell out was the energy of a 3, darling dears. So the what mud was it? The mudslingers, the mudhuttians. They're gonna bring you conflict, darling dears. You are the subject of mucho gossipo, darling dears. Why do I say that? Because you've got 2 3s, darling dears. You didn't just get the 1. All right. On top, you have a 7, darling dears. It shows that you are analytical, you're going through a spiritual awakening, or you are spiritually aware. And it also speaks about being self-aware, darling dears. The energy of the 7 tells me you come with a certain level of knowledge. What knowledge is that? I just told you, bestie. Once you see a thing, forget it not. All right. The energy of the 6, according to the Chinese Loshu grid, darling dears, it tells us that you will be getting help along the way through helpful people, darling dears. Them helping hands are on their way. Remember, I told you that. It also speaks about your spiritual life, as I already stated, from the 7, and it speaks about travel. You're going to be making major moves, darling dears, not just your normal everyday travel. It could be international travel. Your footsies will be stepping in places you haven't been before. Why? You are linking up with others spiritually aware, darling dears. Remember, I told you that. And many of you will be by accident. Why? You're not looking to make any new friends. Why? Because you just about got over the old ones. Listen, you had to get rid of those crosses. And I said friends, so this meeting, and again, Freudian slip, it is a mouth meeting, is going to be about friends. It meant to come out, darling dears. All right, let's carry on. The energy of the 6 is the northwesterly direction, darling dears. Your power color today will be gray and mauve, which is a shade of purple, which I love to my heart. Anyhow, let's drop down and get our eagles on. Right. The energy of the 6, darling dears. Let's unpack that first. It's ruled by Venus. Venus is about beauty, artistry. Venus is about nurturing, darling dears. Venus is also about your desires as well as your skills, how you apply them. Venus rules the face, the beautification of it all, the neck, the lips, your nose and your lungs, darling dear. So you've got the power to say it with your chest. Yeah. The energy of Venus, you could, I'm sorry, the 6, you could be a life path 6. It encumbers the number 6, 15, and 24, as well as the master number 33. So you are a spiritual teacher, darling dears. You have a new title, one you got on accident when you decided to what? Pay attention, right? When the math was not mathing. It tells me you are a natural healer, darling dears. I'm also hearing homeopathic healer. You are finding different ways to heal yourself. Okay. All right, let me give you a prime example with astrology. If you have Saturn, no, not Saturn, Pisces in your 12th house, darling dears, or wherever your 12th house placement is. Say for instance, Pisces, your Pisces, which is your Neptune, is placed in Virgo. Okay, if you've got the 12th house placement of Pisces, darling dears, you're gonna have autoimmune diseases. Yes, you are. Things like fibromyalgia, okay? And how you would heal it would be the house that wherever your Pisces placement falls, okay? So if it falls in the 6th house, then it's about your health, darling dears. Obviously, number 1. Number 2, it's about your routines. The fact that you have to incorporate exercise, darling dears. And I'm not telling you to go in there and get at it. No, light exercises, walking, holding that chair pose, having your sea moss, your Celtic salts, your sea legit, darling dears, your mullein to clear off your lungs, things like that. But anyway, I digress. Let's press on. Okay. The energy of the 6, your luckiest numbers will be the 3, 6, 9. Come through the Tesla of it all with the key to the universe. Posh clap. Your luckiest days will be Thursday, Friday, and Sunday. Avoid the numbers 1, 5, and 7. The number 6 is supported by the astrological aspect of a sextile, darling. And we love the sextile. Why? It's the ability to what? Produce results, darling dears. It's energy that flows. It also is what? Supporting harmonious relationships in the sense of what I said, darling dears. The helpful hands, helpful people are coming along, darling dears. Remember I told you that. All right. It also speaks about you being extremely caring. Did I say that? You nurture, blood. If you're up to Venus, you nurture. And it also speaks about being more social. So you're going to be making, possibly networking, new connects. I said travel, possibly traveling for work. Possibly be making a link for your side hustle. Listen, it's all out there, darling, just because Venus also brings what? Skrilla.com. That's money, the folding stuff, darling dears. The stuff that will give you what? Options and choices. Okay. This reading, darling dears, is going to be about the 3rd house because the double threes come out. Normally I'd go up to the 6th, but the 3rd house is about communication, the Gemini energy of it all, darling dears. Communication could be coming in from siblings. It could be something going on in your neighborhood, darling dears. Something from a neighbor. Excusez-moi, s'il vous plaît. It's about your immediate environment, darling dears. And in this communication with the Gemini, it also covers your transportation. So somebody could be getting a new car, or you'll be meeting someone on public transport, darling dears, which is going to change your perspective. I told you, communication will be key. You are also, again, I said, an item of mystery and gossip, darling dears. People are trying to deliver your file. Yes. They haven't stopped, darling dears. They haven't. So, and it also speaks about the communication. You're going to be getting more phone calls, emails, textings, writing. It also speaks about visits. As I said, the travel's there. So you'll be visiting places where your footsies haven't gone, darling dears. But it's going to be to your benefit. Remember, I told you that. You're going to be guided to go somewhere, step into a door. I don't know, whatever it is, darling dears. Follow the feeling. Why? A helpful person will be at the end of said journeys. Remember, I told you that. All right. Let's press on. Okay. We're going to get the energy from your oracle ancestor. The oracle ancestor. We're going to use the oracle cards for the ancestral message. Good golly and gosh. Somebody's putting out some confusing intel about you, darling dears. Fell into my hands, I'll take it. You've got the badass alchemist ways, and I told you natural healers, and it's again a reminder to what? Take care of yourself. Venus beautifies herself, yes, but she takes care of herself. For some of you, you'll be in your what? your soft era, darling dears. But remember that softness, you are providing it for yourself. I told you you're the alchemist. And again, the alchemist is represented by the magician in the tarot card. Again, Mercury energy. And again, the magician speaks about travel, darling dears, but manifesting, having all of the tools, being capable. It also tells me about your intellect. We always gone down to we already went to the 7, darling dears, telling me that you are buffed up in the cranium. You are not only spiritually aware of self, darling dears, but you are also what? Going after the knowledge. All knowledge is good knowledge, darling dears. We always learn as a big cat. If you know everything, get off my channel, right? You're trying to make us into fools. No one knows everything but the Most High. And possibly the government and that place over in Rome. And listen, don't let me be finger pointing because YouTube didn't like it, right? It also speaks about a candle. When we see candles, darling dears, we usually blow them out for a wish. But on the back of these 3s, darling dears, somebody wants your candle to be outed, a light. You are shining, maybe because you are moving differently. You don't move like them, darling dears. Look at all of the other flames. They're all being misdirected, but you are being mirrored by this helpful person, again colored by the green heart chakra, coming through to help you out. You don't move like them. Yeah, they move like Richard. Push, clap. All right, trying their magic of, because words are spells, darling dears, and when repeated enough, it will have some effect, especially on those that are unaware and don't know how to protect themselves. Obsidian black crystal, black tourmaline, a black obsidian black aura tourmaline next to your mirror in your boudoir, where you step out of your temple, your body, on your astral travel. Every night you go, darling dears. Whether you remember it or you remember smidgens, you go every night. This is why many are now trying to say, when we are asleep, we are awake, and when we are awake, we are asleep. Why? Look what's going on at this moment in time. Okay. Base of the deck, darling dears. Listen. Somebody's digging up the past, darling dears. This is not a clean sweep, okay? So they're doing a mouth meeting about something you did in the past. When people can't do you nothing, when your shine is so bright, darling dears, they try to what? Rehash whom you used to be. When you do not, I repeat, do not live at that address anymore. No rest for the wicked, yeah? Divine said that when he sits high and looks low, darling dears. And I already told you, don't wait for anybody's karma. Move on with your life. It's your Saturn placement in your natal chart, darling dears. You'll see what their karma is. All you need to see is have a quick look see and go, and keep it pumping, keep it fresh. Don't put no energy into it, because what energy you, just like Freud told us, what you put energy towards becomes powerful, darling dears. And they are powerful, mad, and wicked towards you. Remember, I told you that. They have the what? Perpetration of the gingivitis, darling dears. And it's male and female. Remember, I told you that. All right. Can we press on? Can we press on? You're saying, but how do you know it's male and female? Because of the magician. And Mercury is a masculine and feminine planet. Bestie, I told you, you're going to learn astrology on accident. I'm going to pique your curiosity. Good. Go and find out. She's naive, darling dears. Pay attention to the planetary transits and how it aspects your natal chart, darling dears. Get your secondary progressions. Get your perfection charts. You have all of the tools to live a bountiful life. But you have to be prepared to what? Do the 7. What's that? The studying, darling dears. Because why? It will create a stable foundation, the energy of the 5. Knowledge is something that can't be taken from you. And number 2, it will create luck, darling dears. Opportunities in your life. You will continue and forever broaden your perspective in all areas. All right. Let's press on. Because the skulldugger's have a problem with you, darling. They always got a problem with you. Right? Always. We'll go with the blue. Try and keep it even and level. Not too high and not too low. The blue is supposed to cover the 3rd eye. I mean, yeah. No, the throat chakra, darling dears. For speaking the truth, it's telling us to pick another card, blood. The blue don't want none of that. It doesn't want to smoke, right? Yeah. Many are called and few are chosen. It's already told us what we already knew, darling dears, right? You went through your rehab, or someone is going into rehab, darling dears. Yes. Or possibly the conversations that's going on out of your presence, darling dears. It's like a rehab for the broken. Yeah, I'm telling you, it's going down, Bobby Brown. All right. What's this? He was sleeping with the enemy, blood, breaking bread, telling them your secrets, and they beat you down with their ignorance and jealousy, darling dears. All right, it said pick an FP555 card. All right. If you'd like to like these decks, follow the link in the description box below, and don't forget to like up the read, darling dears. Thumbs it up if you're enjoying it. We've got Capricorn, Taurus, Virgo energy, and it's on a 10. 10 is covered by what? Ending of a cycle and the renewal of you, darling dears. The 10 goes down to a 1, so it's definitely a new beginning for you, darling dears. The energy of the 1 is telling me that you are on your purpose at this moment in time. It also speaks about your consciousness, darling dears. Your consciousness, I'm thinking like it's all about your what? Spirituality, learning more about self and the world around you and how to what? Bend the matrix. Okay. The energy of the 1 is also a reminder for you to always believe in yourself, darling dears. Always be your biggest cheerleader. Have confidence in the abilities that you are what? Manifesting with your badass alchemist ways. It also is saying that this is the time, darling dears, to start a new project. Yes, darling dears, you've acquired the knowledge. Maybe you've been playing with an idea, starting a channel, whatever it is, a business. Go for it, darling dears. Go for it. I told you, helping hands are on the way, and Venus is up in the mix, and Venus comes with what? The Skrilla, darling dears. And it also what? Highlights your creativities, your certain je ne sais quoi. Love it. You may be a Capricorn, Taurus, or Virgo placement. Yeah. Time to play chess, darling dears. Energy of the what? 11, master number. It tells me that you are a master creator, darling dears. And again, it's the push that you need to what? Go towards what you've been playing around with, darling dears. Time to go after it with gusto. Why? Because you wasted time. Yeah, you did. It was wasted time. It was. Just accept it, darling dears. You'll never get it back. You can't turn back the hands of time. Not even R. Kelly can do it on his best day, darling dears. Trust and believe. He got to serenade everybody up in that prison with the prisoners on a daily basis. And I'm sure the wolf has knocked at his door many a night, darling dears. Many a night. Right? Oh. This was up. Right, darling dears. You've got 3 go-to moves. Okay, and again, another master number, darling dears. When we see the energy of the 22, it tells me what? Builder mode, darling dears. Build it. If you have envisioned it, if you've got the knowledge around it, the skills, go for it, darling dears. You will get the support you require, but it has to always start with you, and it has to be the belief in you, because I'm telling you, these ones that are having the mouth meeting, they're gonna try and tear it down by any ways possible, darling dears, and pollute other people. Well, they only can pollute the simpletons, darling dears, the feeble-minded, those that are also on the spiritual short bus, bound for a field trip. Yes, they are. Past the sign that says you can't F off past this point. That's where they're going, blood. Base of the deck, darling dears, and they're hobo, H-O-B-O, sexuals, darling dears, always looking for a gaff. The 5 and a 1, where they'll be harmonious. So wherever they lay their hat, darling dears, it's their home, and their hat is currently laid up in your business, darling dears, digging up the old bones, kicking up dust, darling dears. But you saw the behavior in them, but you didn't. Slim Jim says what? The tears of a clown, blood. Is true. No rest for the wicked, darling dears. No rest for the wicked. And what? Luke 22:62. They will cry bitterly into their fist, darling dears, when they realize all that energy they put on you. My left hand is itching We've got to pay out some Skrilla, darling dears, but fortunately, we have the biggest Pentacale of them all, gifted to us by the Most High, Father God, Mother Isis, fist bump. Anyhow, press on. And now listen, I've now out-talked myself and I forgot what I was just talking about, so I'm going to get the tarot and just press on and pretend it didn't happen. Just forget the last 10 seconds. And we're carrying on. All right. Let's press on. Let's press on. Base of the deck, darling dears. Again, we have another 6, darling dears. When we have the energy of the 66, we know it's another master number. It's about you being aware. It's an alert, darling dears, of putting other people's needs ahead of your own wants. Remember, I told you that. Be mindful, darling dears, because they are slick. And they are what? Scuzzbuckets and scumbags, darling dears. They will trick you to what? Change the narrative of a situation. Remember, you have the wisdom, you have the knowledge, and you have luck and Venus on your side. Remember, I told you that. Also expect more compliments, gifts, the energy of the 2, darling dears. Any business or travel plans will go smooth like butter. Remember, I told you that. Again, the energy of Gemini, the 3rd house. I told you, you are learning astrology, numerology, and tarot on accident, darling dears. Why? Because we're besties, darling dears. What I know, I must share. But in saying that, it's a lot to take on, darling dears. It's not for the faint-hearted, but if you have the passion for it, that is what makes it. It's not work. Learning this new topic is not work. It will come to you so easy. And then you'll be able to see what really is going on and how you can circumvent it. This is why I do the astrology readings and give you the energies. So you know what energy is out there each day, so that you can choose how best to what? Be the baddest of them all with the badass alchemist ways. Right. Thank you. Good golly and gosh. We've got the what? 4 of Wands, darling. Is this 4 of Pentacles? I believe this is either the Wands or the Pentacle. Hold on a minute. Hold on 1 minute. Yeah. 4 of Pentacles, darling dears. 4 of Pentacles tells me that you've got control of the situation. It also speaks about mentally on par, darling dears. It also speaks about somebody's going to be acquiring a new home, a residence. Somebody's also going into counseling. You could be in the counseling field, darling dears. But it also speaks about what? Being sure of a particular upgrade. It could be the acquiring of something, because when you see the 4 of Pentacles on the Rider-Waite deck, this is someone holding on to something. And as I said, holding on to something. They are holding on to something in the past, darling dears. What are they holding on to? Right? Because they're wicked. Listen, they're looking at you with the side eye. They're seeing that you've changed your perspective, right? Look, the watchers, they are watching you, darling dears. They're watching you. Many are trying to copy your flow, darling dears, but you are unique and rare, and missing from their lives, darling dears. Remember, I told you that. When we see the Hangman, this is water Neptune energy. It also speaks about disillusionment. And with the Venus energy, one of you here, darling dears, between now and the 20th of July, you are about to release something, some kind of negative habit or pattern. It could be drinking, smoking, overeating, overthinking, whatever it is, darling dears. You're going to be wrapped a lot tighter between now and the 20th of July. And when you release it, you will not be going back to it, darling dears. You will see how much of your time you wasted on that. Remember, I told you that. But in some cases, whatever it is that you are letting go, it's what you needed at that time. In some cases, it was needed for you to what? Leave that paradigm. Oh, I'm a poet and didn't know it. Yeah, but they're looking, darling. They're seeing it from a different perspective. As I said, whatever they're holding on to, it definitely is something from the past, and because you are shining so bright. Okay, yeah. Oh my gosh, 3 6s on the tableau, darling dears. I know, darling dears. It's not as scary as you believe it to be. It represents too much focus on the material world and not on your spiritual. And again, we have what? The sun of illumination behind you, darling dear. 6 of Cups is telling me that you have opportunities coming towards you. Don't focus on the material side. Focus on the spiritual side, the spiritual aspect. And how do you do that? By giving back, darling dears. By helping another big cat, by sharing your knowledges, your gifts, your talents, your skills. It doesn't matter what they're saying, darling dears. As I said, as Freud told us, they're giving you more power, the more focus they put on you. Look at this. We have the energy of what? The Big Daddy Wheel of Fortune. Travel, darling dears, learning new things. Somebody's going to be adopting a new culture, a new language. Maybe you're learning a new language, foreign people, foreign places. But also when we see the Wheel of Fortune again, luck, darling dears. Not only do you have what? Venus, you also have Jupiter on your side, darling dears. And Jupiter and Venus right about now doing a foot race to make your cup run over. Remember, I told you that. This is also a karma card, as well as fate, darling dears. In the upright, good dharma, darling dears. Remember, I told you that. A new beginning for you. If you could, this is so lucky and so fortunate at this moment in time. You could also win on the lottery, darling dears. It speaks about inheritances. If you're going for some kind of financial backing for a business, if you're looking for a loan, if you're looking for an upgrade and more income coming towards you, all of it is coming towards you, darling dears. And yet they have to watch, and yet they would like to come back and sun you, darling dears, make you feel less than. Even though this is a positive card, in light of the reading and how things are flowing, that's what's going on, darling dears. You're good, and you don't see none of this coming, darling dears. This negative energy. Why? You're focused on your own shiznai. Oracle 7100. Hola, big cat wave. Look, and you are what? Playing chess, not checkers. This is the Hermit card, darling dears. It also speaks about the frequency that you carry. All of this dark energy, these gossipers, the ones that are creating you as a mysterious figure and adding their 10 cents, right? Which is a wooden nickel, yeah, a £9 note, right? It's not affecting you, darling dears. Why? Your energy is of a different frequency. You learn from many a betrayal, darling dears. You learn to what? Roll with the punches, but land on your back. Why? Because if you can look up, you can get up. Come through Les Brown, posh, clap. Yeah, Hermit energy, 2 major arcana, darling dears, and it is a countdown. So this blessing that is coming towards you, these helping hands, this light that you don't see coming, that is moving like you, darling dears, is going to be coming sooner rather than later. We've got the days, the energy of the 6s, Thursday, Friday, and Sunday. Yeah, pay attention, darling dears. Pay attention. Because I'm telling you, all what they're putting out there, darling dears, the math ain't mathing. Because if somebody's talking about you to someone that doesn't know you, obviously they're going to try and research on their own. You know what I mean? We're living in the age of Aquarius, where technology is out there, darling dears. Something specific is something major in the technological fields is going to be released around the 13th and 14th of June in the next few days, darling dears. Something significant, because we've got a whole Mercury Kazemi coming up, which is very fortunate, and it's about what? Technology, darling dears. It's going to be put out there. Prepared to be wowed in the next few days. You had to look at the situation from a different perspective. Gain control over your own mind, which is giving you the healing. And again, we've got 2 4s on the tableau, darling dears. When we see 2 4s, lean in, bestie. This is what? It shows it was a personal challenge. This healing, it was your challenge, darling dears. Because Divine wanted to open you up to what you truly deserve on this Malkuth. Yes, they're going to talk, darling dears. They're always going to talk about you. You can't do nothing about it. But good or bad, darling dears, it's still giving you what? Extra energy, extra focus. And it's also giving you what? the gumption to protect your own energy from future people and past people trying to come through. And again, the protection of the duality. You are highly, highly spiritual, darling dears. Highly intuitive. Always take the time to go within and what? Center yourself, darling dears. Because you have many, many, many trying to form a weapon against you. Remember, I told you that. We already spoke about the heart chakra. Did I not just tell you this? With the candle, the energy of the green, that helping person, that helping hand. Heart chakra is the 639. Yeah, 639. Venus energy, darling dears. Again. Telling you to what? Continue to what? Expand, darling dears. Continue to what? Keep your compassion. Keep your connection to the Most High. And continue to what? Surrender when not sure of what's going on. How do you do that? By going within. Taking the time to what? Center yourself and find that space, that sweet spot where you connect with your subconscious mind. Because the Wheel of Fortune is on your side. This is good Dharma, darling dears. Okay. So the talking is definitely on you, darling dears. Being observed, watched. What's this? Sacral chakra, jealousy. Oi. Hey, what did I say? It's very, very unfortunate set of circumstances, darling dears. They've got issues and problems with you. Some of them is because they can't get none of your good again, darling dears. It also speaks about they're rehashing old things, dry things, because in the upright, the sacral chakra is on fire, darling dears. It's about your confidence, your sexuality, your co-creating mode, darling dears. In the reverse, listen, it's dry shit they're rehashing, darling dears. Trying to control a narrative about you. We've also got the solar plexus. These are cowards. These are people that won't say nothing to your face, darling dears. And it's also showing that it hasn't affected your confidence, darling dears. Why? Yes, it's coming out in the reverse. But it's also next to what? The Hangman in the reverse. You've gained a new perspective. It's what you think about you, which is important. Doesn't matter what happened in the past. Whatever mistake you made, darling dears. It's about what you think about you having your own spiritual awareness. This is your journey, darling dears. You're playing chess, not checkers. You are professor of the puzzle. So let them say what they've got to say, darling dears. I mean, not that you can stop them. Not that you've got that amount of time, darling dears. We've got the what? Energy of the 9. Because the only person's head that or cranium that's being bothered is theirs, darling dears. And again, they are focused on you. And every time they mention your name, think about your name, darling dears. It upgrades the cycle and the journey that you're on. Freud told us what you focus on becomes powerful. Yeah. 2 of Wands, darling dears. Continue to turn your shapely back, law 16. Yeah, it was difficult, but at the ending of the day, you walk your own path. No longer what? Taken to the left or the right. Exactly where they fell, darling dears. You will always go on once you keep your link to your spirituality. I never noticed that before. Can you see that face? You're being guided at this moment in time. Always call on your ancestral team, your security. Why? Because they want to be a tampon string in your lifeblood. They want you to focus on them because the energy as well, the 9 of Swords, they want you to what? Your mind to fall back into what they done did. Let you be upset and waste your energy over something you cannot change. The only thing you can do about the past, which you've done like a boss, is change your perspective on it, darling dears. Time is of the essence. Time is of the essence. All right? So now we've said all of this loveliness. What else they got to say? Because you're on it, darling dears. You're in it to win it. When it feels like nothing is going right or you may be a bit stagnant, it's because Divine wants you to learn more. Knowledge is out there. But like I said, it's not for the feet. What did I say? They're the little finger in the background trying to stir up the waters. Not knowing. Listen, no one tell them. Don't tell them to stop, right? Because every time they continue, every time they think about you, they call your name, darling dears. give other people your file, or the file they said they've got on you. This see-through pamphlet, darling dears. The new people are coming to give you energy, darling dears. Good or bad, it's still to your betterment. Why? Because you don't see it, darling dears. It's nothing to do with you. God sits high and looks low. What does it say? The karmic is a tyrant and a basic bitch. Listen, I didn't make, well, listen, I was guided to write these things. Don't push me around, bestie. Right? And you are what? Too blessed to be stressed, darling dears. Let them talk. Let them see you as a figure of intrigue, one that they can say what they want to say. They can say what they want, but I guarantee they can't beat you up. They cannot. You've got 3 go-to moves. You've watched my Don't Get Smoked video. There's 2 out. In one of them, I teach you light kung fu and self-defense, darling dears. Yeah, you're going to continue to be blessed in their face. Did I not say the dharma of it all, the good karma, right? For clearing your ancestral karma. And you are living in your north node on your purpose, darling dears. So don't ever think anything's going slow. Things will happen in the blink of an eye when it's in divine timing. And remember, you must always take that risk. That risk, whatever it is, darling dears, take the risk. Matthew 6:27. And always protect yourself with the whole armor of God. Ephesians 6:13. Remember I told you that? When the math ain't mathing, once you see a thing, forget it not. On that note, I drops me mic. To load to my Teesprings, my Patreon, or my TikToks, where I also upload videos. Oh, I uploaded a video to TikTok a couple of days ago because they'd attacked the Barclays Bank in Croydon again a few weeks back. They put out all of the windows, yeah, and then they went back. I was just walking past there. They've chucked all of this paint. They put out all the windows. They got a problem with Barclays Bank in Croydon, in Surrey, in the UK, blood. They don't like them. Anyhow, let's press on to what? Get great, darling dears. Get to it. Get that venture, that business. Get it out there. Go for that job. Remember, we have a Kazimi in Mercury on the 14th, right? Apply for that job, that loan, make that speech, say what you got to say. Use this planetary energy, darling dears. I wouldn't tell you something that I didn't use myself and I didn't believe in. Go and claim that energy of the Mercury Kazimi on the 14th, darling dears. Go for what you want. They ain't seen nothing yet. And as I always say, don't get smoked. And don't smoke yourself. From the ashes, baby. Namaste. Once you see a thing, forget it not. When the math ain't mapping. Big cat wave. Until we meet again on these tarot screens. Cat, cat. Cat, cat. Oh, and if you want to see the video about the Barclays Bank, it's on my TikToks, darling dears. Frequency Phoenix 555. Big cat wave. Energies. Up, up, up. I insist, bestie.